Since our first global research and report in 2011, we've been talking about the global startup revolution. And now it is clear to everyone that it will soon become the most important engine of our economies everywhere. Startup ecosystems, whilst being young, already have created 6 out of the 10 largest corporations in the world. The global startup economy is now worth over $3.8 trillion, more than the individual GDP of most G7 economies. That's not counting startups exited before 2018. 91 ecosystems had unicorns in 2020, about 3 times the number of 2 years ago. One thing that excites me is the regionalization of tech ecosystems, which allowed the smaller cities in the top 100 emerging startup ecosystems to collectively create more than 540 billion in ecosystem value, an incredible 55% increase compared to the period from 2017 to the first half of 19. Tech also amply demonstrated its importance in moments of crisis, as just experienced during the height of the global pandemic. Tech entrepreneurs around the world helped to keep our societies going and are now driving the economic recovery. There are now 79 ecosystems generating over 4 billion in value, which is more than double the number identified in 2017.
Let me share some of the exciting results with regards to the top ranking, starting with London, where we launched our Global Startup Ecosystem Report and is tied in second place with New York City. We congratulate Tokyo with an impressive rise of 6 ranks to number 9, and Seoul, Toronto, Waterloo, and Montreal that have all climbed 4 ranks to respectively reach the number 14, 16, and 31st to 35th ranks. Shenzhen moved up 3 spots to enter the top 20 at 19. And the darling of our report this year is Philadelphia, that having had a few big exits, moved up an impressive 15 ranks to number 28. So while North America continues to dominate the top 30 global ranking, Asia has continued to rise and now is taking 30% of the top spots. Let's go to continental review now, with Africa first, and where we celebrate the fact that early stage funding has doubled in only 2.5 years. And the value of the top 5 startup ecosystems is now $6 billion, led by Cape Town, Lagos, Johannesburg, Nairobi, and Accra in the top 5 spots. In the MENA regions, AI and big data is the leading subsector, with $3 billion invested in early stage funding, that's seed and Series A only, in 2 years, led by the top 5 of Tel Aviv, Dubai, Cairo, Riyadh, and Abu Dhabi, with Bahrain as a close challenger. In Latin America, late stage funding has grown 5x in 5 years, with the top ecosystems being Sao Paulo, Mexico City, Bogota, Buenos Aires, and Santiago, Valparaiso. In Asia, startup ecosystems are now worth $1.1 trillion, and its top cities continues their rise in the ranking, with Beijing, Shanghai, Tokyo, and Seoul, as we mentioned before, and Singapore taking the top spots. In Oceania, startup ecosystems are now worth $30 billion, with 90% of it concentrated in Sydney, Melbourne, and New Zealand, with Brisbane and Perth taking the 4th and 5th spot, while Adelaide and Canberra Far being our regional challengers. In Europe, we celebrate a strong community, which is a key ingredient, the foundation of startup ecosystems, with London, Berlin, and Amsterdam taking 3 of the top 5 spots when it comes to connectedness. The average ecosystem value created by European startup ecosystem is now $6.3 billion, which is the highest after North America. And also, Europe is taking the largest share of the top 100 emerging ecosystems. So policy is working in elevating and creating engines of job creation and economic growth all over the continent. The top spots this year go to London, Paris, Amsterdam, Stockholm, and Berlin, with Copenhagen following closely. Finally, in North America, the top performers are, no surprise, Silicon Valley, New York City, Boston, Los Angeles, and Seattle, with Miami and Houston as regional challengers.
In addition to these regional trends, let's look at the life cycle of the different technology subsectors and understand which ones are actually driving the global startup revolution we're talking about today. This year, we see AI taking the lead, growing the most rapidly in exits and Series A funding, with AMR ranking second, that's advanced manufacturing and robotics, followed by blockchain and clean tech. We see gaming is clearly coming back up in exit growth, and of course, edtech with an E, with a fast growth in exits, much accelerated by the COVID crisis and the new global need for virtual solutions. More than ever, it is important for us to talk about the importance of clean tech. While it has been a record year for global startup ecosystems and we're really working towards economic recovery, it is high time for all of us to put our innovative and entrepreneurial talent back to work to help save our planet from climate change. Building back better is not a choice. I invite all of you to join our Entrepreneurship for Climate movement, which we recently launched with partners all over the world. Together, we commit to fostering global tech leaders and drive the net zero economy, because without those, we really cannot achieve the impact we need to see during the next 10 years. You can find the full report with all of these insights at startupgenome.com/GSER 2021.